This is the April 14th, 2021 meeting of the Acushnet Public Library Board of Trustees. We are being audio taped and videotaped. And I am opening the meeting by a roll call vote. We are all on Zoom. When I call your name, please say here. Diane?
Here.
Nancy?
Here.
Danielle?
Here.
Jerry?
Here.
Steve?
Here.
And Dina Brasser, the library director.
Here.
Everyone is participating remotely via Zoom. And the first item on the agenda today is the review and approval of the minutes from Tuesday, March 16th. Does anyone have any clarifications or questions for those minutes?
No.
Nobody? All right. We just need a motion.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second it.
All in favor by roll call. Diane?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Danielle?
Aye.
Jerry?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Thank you. Next, we have the library budget.
So what I sent you on Monday, I did a little bit of updating to today, and so I will go through it in a bit more detail than I normally would. And also, Diane didn't receive her copy of the budget, so I will highlight.
That means it's off, right?
I think that's,
On
it might be
top of the
cable that
computer,
needs to mute.
the
Maybe.
box. Okay, that's what I just wanted to check, because I looked at it, I figured it was the
I'll
green.
just
light,
wait a
caught my
second.
eye being orange or red. Okay. No problem. Bye.
Cable, do you mind muting? Thank you. Or not? Okay, well, let's go while it's quiet.
There we go. All
There we
set.
go. Okay, thank you so much. Well, I don't think I'll ever get used to this format. I really look forward to whenever we can be back in person again.
Agreed.
Okay, so the salaries line, I didn't make any changes to since what I sent you on Monday. So the salary is salary expenses is equal 75.5%. So, you know, you should see that that's very much in line with what we've been experiencing all fiscal year, because I think we've had 2 pay periods since the last time we've met. So 75.5 is the total spent out for salary. Where I've made some changes today, obviously, is in the operating line. We've had, I'm not sure how this has happened. I will certainly blame it on the fact that it's, you know, we're still in the pandemic and everyone's got an awful lot going on. So our Eversource bills go over to town hall. We don't receive them here at the library. And back in November, you might remember that we didn't receive a bill. And finally, I was able to track it through the finance office, and it had been paid for through another department's budget. So they were able to fix that, no problem. And, you know, we all moved on. So I didn't get one for last month either. And then noticed I wasn't getting one for this month. So I ended up reaching out to Eversource so that I could get the exact totals of, you know, what we owed them. I figured someone had to be paying it since our electricity is still on. So with no, you know, we hadn't gotten any threatening letters or anything. And it turns out, again, another department paid for it, which I really appreciate. I was able to update the energy line through April just this afternoon. So what I sent you on Monday indicated that we had $3,882, $3,882.33 available, when in fact we only have $1,787.98. So instead of being 63% spent out, we're 83% spent out. And that's very normal for this point in the fiscal year. So I'm not worried, and I don't think anyone else should be worried. We will have 2 more Eversource bills between now and the end of the fiscal year. So I think everything's okay here. I'll give you the totals too, just so you know. We had, the bill from March was $1,196.08. Normally, one of you would have had to sign off on that bill because it was more than $1,000, but since somebody else paid for it, and it's just being transferred to our line now, I just had to send an email saying that it was approved to come from the library's budget. So as long as you don't have any issues with that, we can just leave it as is. And the bill for April was $898.27. So we're up to date on energy, and all is well. And I think we figured out how that's happening over at Town Hall. They got a lot going on over there, you know, so it's mail doesn't always go where it's supposed to go, and it's all good. But again, if other departments want to pay the bills, that's okay. Could be more money for books. And I also have an update to the building and grounds line. What I sent you on Monday indicated we have $744.80 available in building and grounds. But as of today, we only have $719.34. So instead of being 70.2% spent out, we're 71.2% spent out. And the other change, or the other difference from what I sent you, is to the equipment and repairs line. Our vacuum cleaner has been on the fritz, and it's an older model. We're not able to get parts. The filter is, it's awful. Can't be cleaned any more than it has been, and you can't get a replacement one. Without the filter, who cares if we could even get the rest of it repaired? So anyway, I purchased a new vacuum cleaner. I used the $100 from the equipment and repairs line, and I overspent that line because the total was $172.09. So I overspent the equipment line by $72.09. But again, we do have a balance in that sales line, so that's going to cover my overspending from the equipment and repairs line. So at this point, as of today, we have spent out 93.2% of the operating budget versus the 88.9% that I had sent you on Monday. And the total overall is 78.9% spent. So that's where we're at.
The total overall was what?
78.9%.
Thank you.
Spent versus 78.1. So I think we're good. You know, we're midway through April, so we have 2.5 months left of the fiscal year, and I think we're in a good spot for where we are in the fiscal year.
Good.
So unless anyone has any other questions about that, that's a lot more than I normally have to say about the budget.
I don't have any questions. It sounds like the vacuum cleaner was a good purchase.
I couldn't see. I had a couple of days where I was vacuuming and this isn't even doing anything at this point. You know, you can only duct tape things so much and try, you know, cleaning measures so much before you have to say this isn't cutting it. So, and I think what we got will last us quite a number of years, and we'll be good, I hope.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments?
Nope.
Nope. All right.
And after the meeting, I just will say, I will send you this updated budget so that you have it also, so that just for your notes.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
We just need a motion.
I move we accept the budget.
I'll second it.
All in favor by roll call. Diane,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Danielle,
Aye.
Jerry,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
myself. Aye. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have new business. Update on browsing by appointment.
I could have left that as old business, and just done, you know, an update on our reopening plan, but I couldn't have that be on again. So it's new business now. And as you know, we're now open for browsing by appointment. The official date is April 5th, but we did start testing out our system on March 24th. So we were randomly selecting people that were scheduled to pick up at takeout and asking if they wanted to come into the building. So since March 24th, and that was a very slow start too. We just needed some practice, with our method of doing things. But since March 24th, we've now had 77 people come in to either browse or use the computers during that same time period. And within those weeks since we've been offering browsing by appointment, we've still had just over 400 pickups at the takeout window. So takeout is still remaining pretty popular. I would say that the vast majority of our takeout regulars now know that we are offering the opportunity to browse by appointment, and they're excited to do that at a future time. But for now, they're okay with just picking up at the window. I believe most of you have come in already. Well, I know that most of you have come in already, so you've seen how we're doing it. I hope that you've been pleased with it. We've received really great feedback from those who are coming in. Someone that I, welcomed in earlier today said she felt like a kid in a candy store, and she was so excited that she was able to come in. One of our, most frequent regulars to the takeout window, he's about 10 years old, and he told his mom that the day that he got to come in was the best day he had in 2021 and maybe 2020 even. So it's pretty exciting, and to hear that and to know that people are excited to come back in. We're grateful that we're being, allowed to provide the service again. And I think it's working well with how we're doing it. Most people don't stay for anywhere near the 45 minutes that they're allotted. They're maybe staying in for half the time. And I've heard from other library directors that they're experiencing similar actions in their libraries as well. So I don't think that's unusual. I think people are following the model we're encouraging, which is come in, grab what you want, and head on out. So over time, that may allow for us, if that continues, to allow for more people to be in per hour based on the fact that the turnover is pretty quick. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not ready to make any changes to it just yet, but we're still getting used to it. And word is still, just getting out.
You have the window.
Letter.
Oh, and this one too?
Sandra created a really neat book
Yes.
for us that we've been handing out to everybody at the takeout window. We did just put it on social media for the first time just today.
Yeah.
And I haven't done a press release yet, just because I was really trying to make sure that we got the word out to our regulars who have been so supportive of the takeout system. And I really wanted to make sure that they knew about it first, because, most of them are people who were regular visitors before COVID. So
No problem.
hopefully we'll be able to continue to get good feedback. And then as time goes on and more people find out about it, hopefully they'll be happy to partake as well. But that's it.
Thank you. You have a wonderful day.
The key thing that I wanted to say about it. And I think it's going well, and I wanted to make sure you knew that. And if you have any questions or
Okay, thank you.
from your visits, if you want to let me know that, by all means, please do. But if not, we're going to keep moving forward as is for now.
Same schedule, same everything, status quo.
For now, the other piece, which I was just going to highlight in my director's report, but I can mention it here. As you all already know, one of our 19-hour staff members accepted a full-time position elsewhere, and her last day was sort of simultaneous with us kicking off opening by appointment. So we're down 2 positions. We were already down 1, and now we're down 2. So we really don't have the staffing levels right now to be able to offer takeout and browsing by appointment at the hours we had initially wished to offer. So we had discussed in the last meeting, Monday through Thursday, 11 to 7, Fridays 1 to 5, Saturdays 10 to 2. But with being down 2 people, it's impossible to have the window open and have people in for the same amount of hours. So the decision that we've made for the time being, and hopefully you agree with that, is we are leaving the takeout window open the same hours that it's been open since last summer. But we cut back on the browsing by appointment. So currently browsing by appointment is just 1 to 5 Monday through Friday and 10 to 2 on Saturdays. And as soon as we get the staffing levels back up to where we need them to be, then we can expand the browsing by appointment time slots. But for now, we just don't have enough people in the building at any given time, enough staff in the building to cover both. If the demand for takeout was dropping, maybe I could justify, not having someone in the room and have, that way we could have staff in the main area. But the demand for takeout is not dropping for us as of yet. So I am hopeful that we'll be able to fill at least the 19-hour position very soon. I have begun interviews, and hopefully, once we get that filled and we're able to train the new staff member, then we will be able to get those hours up, hopefully even by summer. And at that point, maybe we'll even be ready to, consider not having appointments and just having people drop in, because I don't know if the appointments are a drawback for some people, having to schedule something else. Like sometimes I think the library is a nice idea when you're like, oh, let's go to the library right now. They're open until 7 o'clock. Let's go head over there now. But right now where you have to make an appointment, that might be a drawback to some. So we haven't had to turn anyone away yet, though. We've been able to accommodate everybody who wants to come in. So I will put that out there too, just in case people have been hesitant. We haven't had to turn anyone away.
Now, how many people do you have for the appointment? How many people do you have come in at that one time?
So we can only have 12 people in the building at a time, per the building department. The 12 people is the max, and that includes staff.
Yeah.
So we right now are not booking for any more than 7 patrons at a time, just in case. I mean, it's very rare that we would have 5 staff members in the building, but it does happen every now and then that you overlap for a half an hour, an hour between, and so 7 is the max per hour for patrons. And I'm sure we can adjust that also as time goes on, because, those limits that were set by the building department and supported by the Board of Health, that number was set when capacities were lower for libraries according to the state guidelines, and now the capacity is higher. So I'm sure at some point we'll be ready to, up the number as well. But to start, it just seemed, let's go with sort of smaller, simpler would be better to start, and would be a good way for our patrons and our staff to adjust to the new way that we're having to offer service. So far, so good with that.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. And when you've been in, anyone have any comments or concerns as a result of your visit in? Or no? If it's good, that's good too, but
I thought it was really
tried
good.
to think of everything, so. I mean, we haven't. We've discovered things along the way that we'll see a patron do something and it's like, oh, how did we not think of that? But
I think it was just so nice to be back in the library. That was my
agree.
feeling. Yeah.
Definitely.
Mhm.
yeah, we've heard that from a lot of people. I think, I know of one person who just sort of stood near the temperature kiosk and just took it in, just took in the fact that she got to be back in the building. And that was nice to hear.
I'm sure it's nice to see people in the building.
It is. I mean, like we've talked about before, we've been very fortunate that our service has allowed for us to see people at the window all along, but it's so much, I mean, it's odd being in here without the public day in and day out. So yes, when people are in, it's a treat to look up and see them, and to see people looking around, and and then coming to the counter with a big stack of things to take home. Like that's always nice to see.
Now, do you think that where you're seeing people not taking the full 45 minutes, is there any thought to like scale that back to a half an hour to try to get more appointments in? Or are you happy with the way that it is where they're on the hour so that it's easier to keep track of?
I think that, yes, we're happier with it on the hour because it is easier for staff to keep track of, because we are, recording everyone we're, using scheduling software in a sense, so that we can have, so that everyone in the building knows who is scheduled to be here, so that as they come in, we're checking them off the list and moving on. If we bump to the half an hour, I would not want to bump the computer sessions to a half an hour, because the people who do seem to be staying the full 45 minutes are the people who are using the computers. So if we were to bump the browsing sessions, I think that would become a little complicated for staff to manage who is in here for the computer, who's in here for browsing. We're trying to make announcements, like give people a 15-minute warning, and it's just a general announcement. You have 15 minutes left in this session. So if somebody was on the computer who really had a half an hour left, it might become a little complicated. So I think for now, as long as we're doing appointments, we'll stick to that half an hour. But I mean, that 45 minutes on the hour. But I think there's a better chance that we could expand capacity based on the fact that most people are not staying in for very long. They are just grabbing and going. So I would be a lot more comfortable asking the building department to reevaluate the number for us, and then, getting the go ahead from the Board of Health to just allow for more people to be in at the same time.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And we'll see what happens next week with school vacation. I mean, I'm hopeful that the word will have gotten out enough that people will think of us as a destination on vacation, especially if there's a rainy day and they're looking for something to do indoors. Yeah. See, excellent. So that's what we're also hoping we'll see, is that people will come in, they'll see how easy it is to schedule the appointment and then to be in the building. And so we're hopeful that'll happen, and then it will become routine for people again. Like it used to be. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any other questions or comments or anything? Nope. All right. I don't think there is any other business, so we'll move on to the director's report.
And I primarily said what I wanted to say from that. Other than the fact that, I'll just point out, we are doing our inventory project, which used to be an annual thing. We didn't do it last year. We only did half of the collection in 2019 also, and I forget why that was. I think it was just, we were really busy that winter, so we didn't get to it. But we're almost done. When I emailed you on Monday, we hadn't done the majority of the children's room yet, but we have since completed most of the children's room. And we hope to finish that up in the next week or so. So that'd be great to just have that checked off the list. And especially at this point, because so much of the collection is actually here, our circulation numbers have been really good, I think, for how the service we've been offering, but we've never had this many items on our shelves since relocating. So I think that's also a good time for inventory, since a lot of it's here. We can put our hands on it and get it scanned in on the computer. So almost done with that. And I sent you the statistics also from March as part of the report. And as I noted, our takeout numbers, we had the highest number of pickups at the window since July. So March was a lot busier than we expected it to be. And we also had the highest circulation since September, which is actually pretty typical of statistics. So I hope that now those numbers just keep increasing, because that's typically what happens throughout the year. So I would like to see it be as close to the usual as possible. And mentioned about staffing levels. The only other note I have is that I did just once again want to thank the Board of Health for being so supportive of our plans. Every time I reach out to the agent, Joe Correa, he gets back to me right away and is able to answer my questions and, sort of alleviates any concerns I have. So I really appreciate that. And the town administration has also been very supportive of us throughout this process. You all have been fantastic. So thank you to you all because you show up every month and it's really great. And I hope that you know that the staff and I really appreciate that tremendously. I know sometimes it might not feel that it's that big, but it's big to us and it's big to the library. So we really do appreciate that support. And most importantly for me, I have to just point out again that the staff have been outstanding throughout this entire process, and especially now that we're down one person. I mean, we refer to each other as our library family. So we all get along really well. We're all very supportive of each other. So having someone leave, it's been difficult for us because we're very happy for her, but we're sad for us. But everyone has pulled together to cover the shifts as much as we can within the limitations of union contracts. But everyone is, pulled together to help out, and we'll continue to help out, as much as they can for as long as needed. They've all been so diligent in their personal lives, which has made us all feel comfortable and safe coming to work every day and being in a space with each other. So I really can't commend them enough and thank them enough because I couldn't have asked for a better team to work with this past year, and they've all been so supportive of moving forward and getting this building open and, being back with our patrons, the missing piece to the puzzle. So we've got a great team here, and I want to take every opportunity I can to comment on how awesome they are, because they really are, and everyone should know that. So anyway, that's all I have.
All right. Does anyone have anything else to add? All right.
No.
Do you want to set the next meeting?
Yes, please. If possible, the first date I have is Tuesday, May 11th at 12 via Zoom. That's the day after town meeting, and it's the week before I'm on vacation for 2 weeks. So if possible, would love to make that happen if it works for your schedules. No, okay,
Not for me.
not for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Another option would be Wednesday, May 12th at 5 p.m. Sort of similar to how we've done this evening.
Does that work for everyone? Wednesday, the 12th at 5?
Okay.
Wait, hang on, let me just double check something.
Yes, Gina, please make sure that you're
Days, and then I'm
available.
like, wait a second, did I have to change something on the schedule? I'm pretty sure I'm here. Hang on a second.
Sure thing.
Yes, oh no, we're good. We're good.
We're good?
Yeah. I just
Okay,
had a
so-
moment of like, wait a second. That's
So
a different-
Wednesday, May 12th at 5 p.m. on Zoom.
Excellent.
I think we're, and I'll probably send something out before then, but I think we'll probably after that meeting go into executive session for, to talk about the contract, Gina's contract renewal at that time. So if that works for everyone, after that, just right after that meeting, we'll go into that executive session. That sounds like a plan? Okay.
Yes. Yep.
It shouldn't be that long, but I just figured we should, probably get that all squared away at that meeting.
Sounds good. And I don't anticipate that our regular meeting will be that long either. So hopefully.
Okay, so just to recap, town meeting is on Monday, the 10th at, do we know what time?
I believe
I'll be
it's
at town meeting, so if they don't lump that in and try to go for the, the
Consent agenda.
consolidated vote,
Yep.
yeah, then I'll read that article at town meeting.
great. I'll keep you posted on that, Jen.
Okay, that's no problem.
And yeah, I believe it's 7 p.m. on May 10th.
Okay, and then we'll have our meeting Wednesday, the 12th at 5 o'clock.
Great.
Executive session to follow. Perfect. Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Excellent.
All right, so if we're all set, then we just need a motion.
Take a
Motion to
motion to
adjourn.
adjourn. I'll second.
Seconded.
Take your pick.
Okay, well, all in favor by roll call vote. Diane, adjourn.
Aye.
It is 5:35.